By now, you've probably heard the phrase Facebook is an incredibly powerful advertising tool. But as a small business owner and a Facebook page admin, if you haven't tested out Facebook ads very much, or if you've only stuck to simple boosts or posting only to your friends and your fans, then you probably don't realize all the different ways you can go about targeting your Facebook ad. So in this video, we're going to talk about 10 different ways that you can advertise your next Facebook ad to make sure it's getting in front of your ideal client type. Now these 10 ways are in no particular order, so we're just going to start going down the list. So the first way to target your Facebook ads are with your standard demographics. This is common with any kind of advertising tool, whether it's Facebook, a different kind of social platform, something like Google Ads, or even beyond that. So obviously all your standard, age, gender, location, those are all ways that you can target your Facebook ad. You also can choose specific to the location if you want everyone in that location or if you want people who live in that location. And the difference there could be, if someone works in one town and they drive a half an hour or an hour and they live somewhere else, depending on where they are and what time of day they're accessing their Facebook profile, they may or may not be shown your ad based on that geolocation. With your location, you also can put in specific towns. You can do towns plus radiuses. You can even put in zip codes. So there's even within the geographic option for targeting, you have a few different options there as well. So the next would be financial. And so this one is interesting because previous to all of the Facebook privacy news that spread across the globe, there were some other targeting options where there were household income and they gave you ranges. Related to that, they also had like your net worth. Another point that you could have targeted by was home ownership, and that also has gone away. But this is something that Facebook has tried to semi-replace. They now have some financial options for targeting, but Facebook frames it as ranges. So it's like the top 5%, the top 5 to 10%, the top 25%, those kinds of ranges. So it gives you something to work with, but it isn't near what it used to be prior to this, all the changes that came because of the privacy scandal that we all are well aware of. You can target by parents. There's lots of businesses that know they need to talk to moms. So also prior to the changes with Facebook privacy concerns and Facebook removing some targeting options, there were some additional mom targeting options. Like you could say big city moms, green moms, soccer moms, stay-at-home moms, working moms. So the moms specific options are gone. However, there's a parents option. So if you really wanted moms, you would choose parents and then select by gender. But the parents demographic targeting option also gives you ranges of the kids' ages. So that also helps you target a little bit more specifically who those moms are or the parents that you're trying to reach. There's even an adult child that's like age 18 to 26. So it's not even just little kids. It does go up quite a ways if the parenting target option makes sense for you. The next way to target your Facebook ads would be fans of other pages. This one point alone is really what puts Facebook ahead of so many other options. It's also been doing this for a while. I know that some other of the social media ad platforms have introduced that. So for example, on Twitter, you can say people who follow this other account, but this is really invaluable. So you can basically tell Facebook you want Facebook to show your ad to your competitors or other relevant businesses that make sense, that still fall in within that wheelhouse and that target client type that you're trying to reach. Now, not all Facebook pages are available for targeting. Generally, the real smaller pages are not going to be as likely as to to show up in those options versus the larger pages. But there isn't even a clear-cut line. I mean, I've been able to target pages that say they have like 2,000 and 5,000 fans, but then there's other pages that have 40 or 50,000 fans and they don't show up in Facebook targeting. So there isn't an official line, but if you are even, say, a local business and you know there's similar national companies that offer what you do, say you offer commercial cleaning services in your area, you might want to go ahead and say, hey, I want my ads shown to the Service Master people, some of those bigger chains, the Molly Maids, those big chains that stretch across the country. So the targeting of fans of other pages is very, very helpful, and that's probably one of the most beneficial parts of the Facebook ad targeting options. Next, you have a whole host of interests, and I mean crazy interests. I was just setting up an ad that looked for like ukulele players and different kinds of guitar players. I mean, you can target like girls' nights out and women who like to go to paint and sip parties. There are, excuse me, so many kinds of interests that you can target within Facebook ads. So with that, you really just would enter those interests that you're hoping to find as you type. It will auto-populate with the options that you have for targeting. So sometimes, you might have to play around with your phrasing a little bit to find the kind of targeting options you're looking for. But there's just truly an endless list of the different kinds of interests that you can choose for your Facebook ads. So the second half of this list is pretty much kind of switching over to people who you are connected with in some way. So you can set up an engagement audience. So these would be people who have engaged with your page in some way. So those people have some kind of awareness of you. It does get a little bit more granular with that. You could pick someone who has had any kind of engagement. You can have someone who sent you a message. You can have people who have commented or liked or shared your post. So there's some different options within that page engagement audience. But that's something, it's not even Facebook pixel related. You can just go into your ads account and select to create a custom audience and then choose page engagement and then go from there and then decide if you want it just anyone who is engaged with your page in some way or some more specific type of engagement action. The next would be video views. So if you make videos or you just upload videos, as long as they're not shared from someone else. It needs to be a video that you have either gone live on your page with or you've directly uploaded that video file. But those video views, you can target people who've watched your video, and you can even designate by the amount of time they watched. So if you want someone who's a more serious watcher, you might want to say that you want to create an audience of anyone who's watched at least 50% or 75% of your videos. That's something that's done and set up inside your Ads Manager account. The next one would be your website custom audience, and that is something that involves your Facebook pixel. If you're unaware of your Facebook pixel, it is a free line or more of code that you generate inside your Facebook ads account, and you have to paste that into your website. And then Facebook starts tracking and then recording and accumulating the people who have visited your website while being logged into Facebook, and you can turn around and advertise to those people later. That also makes another great example of a warm audience, because it's people who have some kind of awareness of you and what you do, who then you are turning around and advertising to. There are so many ways to go with the website custom audience that really is its own topic, because you can select specific pages or specific groups of pages. So everybody who has visited those certain pages. I have an audience set up of everyone who's visited blog posts from a certain year. You can also, there's some more advanced options, like you can say the top 25% of your website visitors. So that's a really great thing too. If the top 25% of people who spend the most time on your site, you can create an audience just of them to use to advertise to. The next would be if you upload your email list, and then you can advertise to them. So right about now, this is being recorded in late October 2018. one of the big Facebook pieces of news is that if you do not have your ads account in Business Manager, Facebook is prohibiting, basically by the end of the month, you to use or create new ad sets with a custom audience that was created with those email lists that you uploaded. So you don't need Business Manager for anything else as of now, but I'm sure that's only a matter of time. But for right now, if you do want to use an audience that was created from the email list that you uploaded to your ads account, you have to use Business Manager. You have to move your ads account into Business Manager in order to use that. However, for those people who have really extensive email lists, it totally makes sense that if you're emailing your list about a certain thing, you can hit them up with an ad about that same thing. So that's why that's really valuable. Lastly, and probably the most obviously, you can simply just advertise to your Facebook fans. This is really helpful given the state of Facebook. Even if you just want to do small boosts every week or every other week of just $5 or $10, just to see, just to make sure that your current fans keep seeing the content that you're publishing. You also can decide to do your fans plus friends of your fans, and you can set a geographic limitation to that and other limitations to that. So it's not like if you are in Chicago and you're a local business, someone in Miami, Florida is seeing what it is that you're advertising. So you can control the parameters with that. So like I said, these are 10 different ways that you can go about approaching your ads targeting. I encourage you to get into Ads Manager and do some experimenting. You're very limited with a lot of these targeting options if you're just trying to use the blue boost button. The blue boost button is better if you've already created and saved some audiences, because then you can select those saved audiences to use for that boost. But, just get in there and pretend that you're building an ad. You don't even have to publish it, but just start clicking around and researching to see what those different targeting options are. And I think once you do and you start understanding some of the different ways and super awesome and powerful ways that you can utilize to reach your ideal client type, you might find that your Facebook ads are much more successful for you. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If not, you all have a good rest of your day. Thank you.